I think on our Facebook post, other people grabbed it on Facebook, and it's got millions of views on Facebook. Just a young man. His name is Quatarius Manuel. And is it Manuel or Manuel? Quatarius, how are you doing today? I can't hear him. All right, we're in that nebula zone. I'm not getting any audio.
Hello?
There you are. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. So do you see how it works? Just by standing up and just standing there and letting the opposition talk themselves into a hole, you could really make these people look like fools.
Yeah, that's right.
And so had you been sparring with this guy verbally before, or did this just all happen spontaneously?
So I woke up, obviously, the night before I learned out that Trump was coming to Atlanta. So I decided I wanted to come to go see Trump because he's my candidate, as you can see. And so I went in line with my friend Brett and I and Callie and Mallory. So we were sitting there, and then the guy came to us. He approached us, and he just started attacking us verbally. And then we tried our best to inform him on issues, and he obviously did not know. He called the KKK the KK. He didn't know what legal immigration was. It was just insane. So, yeah.
I think the funniest thing was that he wants to ship black people back to Africa. That, to me, was one of the funniest statements I've ever heard from a grown man. And he's not calling shipping anybody back. He's just saying people who've broken the law, illegal immigrants. He's saying, hey, we have to have a system. We have to ship these people back. He goes, we may even allow them to come back in, but we have to kind of clean the slate before we can deal with what's going on in this country. And right now, it's crazy. The border's wide open, the southern border. They're saying there's more illegals pouring over the border now this year already than all of last year. And last year was a record year.
Yeah. Like I said, these liberals, they just want free stuff. And Trump is not buying it. He's not buying it. We're not going to continue to let our country we're not going to continue to let our country go to the ground when Trump is our president, because he's going to stop illegal immigration. And people don't want to hear that, because they know when he gets in office, America going to be great again. And the liberal media does not want America to be great based off conservative values. They want America to be great based off liberal values, and that's just it.
I would agree, and I'll lump the Republicans in there with the Democrats who like illegal immigration, because the Democrats like it because it creates a big voting base. And the Republicans like it is because it creates a form of cheap labor that they can exploit. And I say shame on both these groups, shame on exploiting people, because in addition to just bringing people in as cheap labor, how many people are dying just to make that journey because they think there's a glimmer of hope that they can get in? How much of the drug trade is fueled by this, the coyote trade? I mean, we're keeping really bad people in power and in money, well-financed, just by allowing this system to continue.
Exactly, the rate. I mean, look at all these illegal Mexicans. They come in here, and I was I don't know if you know anything about Georgia, but I was in Dunwoody, and then I was out there playing soccer with my friend, and then we noticed some Hispanics come up to us. I'm just profiling, based off what information I was given using my context clues, something I was taught to do in third grade. But so I used them. I asked them, and they first of all, they didn't know any English. And I was like, well, how old are you? He's like, I'm 15. It's like, okay, what school do you go to? I'm 16. I want to know what school you go to. So we're not going to school yet. We're just working. I was like, so how did you get here? He's like, I got here 2 weeks ago. It's like, how? He couldn't give me answers because he didn't learn English. So I just assumed he was illegal. I was like, where are you from? He was like, well, my cousin's from Mexico. I'm from Guatemala. And I said, well, why are you here? He was like, we come here because it's a better opportunity. I said, well, are you legal? Do you have ID, a citizenship or anything? He was like, no. And then that's when some more started coming towards me. And, basically, I think it was one guy, a little English. And he was like, why are you confronting my friend? I was like, because he's illegal. And I don't agree with legal immigration. So long story short, we ended up reporting it, got to the police offices, and the police got the guy in custody. I don't know anything about him now, but yeah, it just shows you how much they come over. They're making their way to Georgia now. So
there was a report last week of an 18-wheeler driver who just stopped in the middle at a rest stop, and it was on his way, I think, to some other city. He was coming from El Paso. He stopped in the middle. let out a whole truckload of illegals, and they were just wandering around the truck stop. They didn't even know where they were. I mean, this is not right on so many levels. So people who sit there and say illegal immigration is good, it's not doing anything. It's not helping any side of the equation. And it's also driving down our wages, if people want to look at it that way. But what, Quay, what got you into Trump in the first place? What really attracted you to him?
So originally I've been always Republican. I grew up in a conservative home, obviously in Georgia, suburbs of Georgia. I did not like Trump at first. I mounted to dislike him. He was my second option. My number one option was Ted Cruz, because I thought Ted Cruz has conservative principles that I was for, as far as like free market, stuff like that. That's true conservative on the economic side. You know what I mean? So, and I thought he had this great Christian belief, because I am a evangelical Christian. I love Christianity. That's just my religion. And I thought Ted Cruz was the closest guy to Reagan. That's what I thought. And I thought Ted Cruz spoke to the people. I thought he was more than just a politician, because he was the outsider. I mean, like, I don't know if you knew, but everybody knew that Ted Cruz was not liked in Washington because they didn't like his ideals. And so I thought he was the guy that I needed to take on Washington with his conservative values. And then once he dropped out, when he lost Indiana primary, I was devastated. You know, I was like, oh my God. And then also what made me influence my decision, if you saw the latest polls that CNN and Fox were coming out, Ted Cruz was beating Hillary by over like 11 points. And Donald Trump was losing to Hillary by like 16. So I was like, well, where's Donald Trump path to winning the presidency? So I thought about that too when I was picking my candidate at first. And anyway, so Ted Cruz, I had Ted Cruz, and he dropped out. I was a little lost. So I took a 2-week break from politics. And then I started researching into Donald Trump. And I started researching into why the liberal media portrays Donald Trump this way when he's really not. I mean, he has some of the biggest Black supporters. You have Herman Cain. I mean, you could just go on, but that's just one big guy. And I looked into it. I was like, he's not this person. So why are the media doing that? And I thought Donald Trump had a chip on his shoulder. And I thought, I'm going to support this guy because, for one, he's a GOP nominee, so I'm going to support the nominee. I'm not like, I have so much respect for the Bush family, but I don't understand why they would not support the GOP nominee when it goes against Hillary. And I'm that guy that's like anyone but Hillary. And then I fell in love with his policies on like immigration, education, getting rid of Common Core, etc. So.
Yeah, and he's got a pretty favorable economic plan. A lot of people have looked at it and said, this plan is going to put money back in everybody's pocket, his tax program. He's also come out and said he wants to save Social Security and Medicare, which I think is an issue on both sides. People want to see how it can be saved.
Obamacare is the worst thing that could ever happen to America, and he is going to repeal that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it's amazing the way the system has all lined up on both sides, and they're afraid of Trump. They don't want to see him win, and it makes you wonder, why is that? What is so scary about a guy? Oh, and they put out arguments like, oh, he's not a politician. He hasn't been in politics. We've had enough of politicians, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and like that's a good point, because right here in the state of Georgia, we had a politician and Governor Nathan Deal, and every time you think we have a great politician, they always eventually sell out. Look at Marco Rubio. He sold out to Florida. He sold himself out to Washington for Florida. I mean, look at Governor Deal. He sold the state of Georgia out for some money from. I mean, all these politicians, John McCain, he's been selling Arizona out for forever. I mean, all these politicians, all they do is sell out, and they just get their money, and they don't even care about the people. I want somebody who I'm proud to say I'm president. And I love George W. Bush, but there is nobody I think I've ever been proud of the most besides Ronald Reagan ever since he's been in office. I wasn't even born at that time, but I know my parents, they love him. I looked at his policies. He tore down that wall. He's done so much great things to America, and they took the heat, and he took the heat for it. And I just think it's unfair that if you have like you made a good point, you said I'm done with politicians. I think Trump is finally that outsider that we need, because Ronald Reagan was an outsider. I mean, everybody knows that, you know. So
well, and it was bound to happen where people would get sick and tired of the same old system of just the same garbage coming down, the same talking points. The Republicans have their talking points, the Democrats have theirs. we would have never had, anything except Trump's come in and really kicked the system to the curb, especially with his political correctness. We also have your friend Brett, who was there online. I imagine he's the guy with the sunglasses and the curly hair.
Yeah, he's that guy.
All right, let's bring Brett up. And but basically, how did all you guys? Did you guys all meet at a Trump rally, you and your friends, or did you just decide to? How did that happen?
So I was in line. I came to the Trump rally by myself. I caught an Uber to the Trump rally, right? And so then I got in line and I saw Brett's mom. And then they started talking to me about why I support Trump and stuff and how they supported him. I looked over and I seen Brett, and Brett looked like this high school student. So then I asked him what school he go to and things like that. So we just hit it off. And then we just been friends ever since. And then we've been talking. We went inside the rally, saw Donald Trump, got an autograph. It's pretty cool. And then we just been there, and we took on those protesters,
Exactly. And just on our channel, that video, and I saw at least 15 other cameramen around you filming that. It got 1 million views with, using an iPhone 5 even. So that's the power of that debate can show, and how, when people basically kick themselves in the face with their ridiculously ignorant talking points, it just shows how, look at that, 1,200,000 views just on one channel on one platform. And it's got, millions of people now know your name, and just seeing how, a young high school kid with his friends could just stand up to a guy who's, if you want to talk about bullies, this guy probably has a big bully file.
He's not even asking us.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, are we going to have an educated conversation, or are you going to yell at me? He said, no, I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to yell at you. And I said, wow, this just shows your intelligence. You're going to yell at a 16-year-old kid who can't even vote. I just want an opinion. And then I just want to know, why do you don't like Trump? He can't even give me an answer about that. And he was so ignorant, dude. Like, he doesn't know what legal immigration is, called the KKK. I mean, how can Donald parents be a part of the KKK when they were German immigrants? I don't get it, dude. I just don't get it.
Well, and Hillary's on record, and Bill, of supporting a known grand wizard of the KKK, which was the senator in West Virginia. I forget his name right now.
If you go on
Robert Byrd.
Yeah. Hillary is actually endorsed by the KKK too. People don't understand that. You can go look that up on Google's type in search engine. So, I mean, she's been endorsed by, and I'd say distinct, CNN is just a free advertisement for Hillary. Like, it just is. And I look at the comments that people have been making about me on Twitter. I don't know if you see my Twitter, but anyway, you guys can go follow me on there. I've seen people on Twitter, and they've been coming at me. They're saying I should die. They wish cancer on me, and they wish, they just say hateful things. I've lost my black card. I'm Uncle Tom. I'm a racist. They just keep saying the Uncle Tom thing also. But I find it funny because I feel like that it's amazing that young minorities that are Republican conservative people, it puts fear in these people by sharing their own opinion. And it's insane because I don't think that a 16-year-old should be taking this much heat for his opinion. I've took heat at school. I've been called racist at school. But guess what? I'm going to keep fighting because people got to understand the truth. The truth is that people are allowed to have their own opinion. And in the United States, it's okay for us to agree to disagree. That's the beauty of our country. And I think people need to understand that. They should not wish certain things on a person that just have an opinion who can't even vote. And I love the support I'm getting. I'm getting so much support from so many types of people. People don't agree with me. I'm getting support from them. But it's insane. But you can definitely go follow my Twitter account at Rich Problems 2_. It's a great Twitter account. I post my conservative values on there, and you can definitely defend me, or you can say hateful things about me.
And let me tell you, it's grown exponentially since you've been on our show. We've got your friend Brett as well chiming in now. Brett, how's it going?
Pretty well.
Good. So, hey, what attracted you to Trump, and then what was your reaction to this whole interaction that was going on with this man calling you guys racist for just holding up Trump signs or wearing Trump T-shirts?
Well, I think the thing that attracted me to Trump most was is that all this political correctness, all this trigger words, hate speech, safe spaces, all that. He came out of all of that. He's a product of the extreme far left, and I think that was great because I am so sick of people telling me to watch